Welcome to The Explainer. Have you ever felt that absolute sinking feeling when your travel plans suddenly change and you realize you have a completely non-refundable rental car just sitting there waiting? Well, today, we are unpacking the ultimate survival guide on how to cancel a budget car rental reservation before a simple everyday mistake costs you hundreds of dollars. We're going to take those confusing portals and hidden fees and turn them into crystal clear, actionable knowledge for you. Because listen to this. Did you know a single, simple mistake could actually cost you your entire rental fee? It is 100% true. Under Budget's incredibly strict no-show policy for prepaid reservations, if you fail to cancel prior to pickup and you don't collect the vehicle, you forfeit every single penny. No refunds, no partial credits, nothing. It's a massive financial hit, but the good news is you can easily avoid it if you just know exactly how their systems work. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our survival guide roadmap for today. We'll be covering the policy and penalties, canceling online step-by-step, phone and human assistance, common problems and solutions, tips for future bookings, and we'll wrap up with final takeaways and a disclaimer.
Starting right off with Section 1, the policy and penalties, because understanding the fine print is absolutely the key to avoiding hidden fees.
The very first thing you need to figure out is which camp your reservation actually falls into, pay now versus pay later. Now, if you chose pay later, you generally have total flexibility to cancel or modify your reservation anytime with zero fees. But there is a bit of a catch. For certain high-demand vehicles, Budget requires a credit card hold. If you cancel that hold less than 48 hours before pickup, they are going to hit you with a $75 fee. And yeah, that is definitely not the souvenir you wanted from a trip you didn't even take. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the exact tiered penalty structure for those pay now or prepaid reservations. If you manage to cancel at least 24 hours prior to your scheduled pickup, you'll be hit with a $50 processing fee. But cross that 24-hour mark, that fee literally triples to $150. And the absolute worst-case scenario, that's the no-show or the early return, where Budget just keeps your entire prepaid amount, the whole shebang.
Let's move on to Section 2. Canceling online step-by-step.
To pull this off and avoid forfeiting your cash, especially if you're checking out as a guest without a fast break account, you absolutely need to have two specific pieces of information ready. So go dig up that email receipt. First, you need the primary renter's last name. Second, you need your 11-character confirmation number. That's usually an 8-digit code followed by 2 letters and 1 number, something like 1234567 AB1. Without this exact format, their database simply will not pull up your file. Let's see how this builds. Here's your actual click-by-click workflow. Step 1, go ahead and access the view/modify/cancel portal on budget.com. Step 2, pop in your last name and that confirmation number we just talked about, then select the option to cancel. Now, step 3 is critical, guys. The system will prompt you for an email and literally force you to check a box explicitly accepting the cancellation fees. You have to manually agree to the penalty. Finally, step 4, click that final cancel reservation button to update the database and actually initiate your refund. All right, Section 3, phone and human assistance. Sometimes you just really need to talk to a real person. If the automated online portal glitches out on you, you are going to want this directory on standby. For automated help with U.S. reservations, the primary route is dialing 1-800-218-7992. But if you need a live human to handle complex disputes or manual refunds, customer care is your absolute best bet. Call 1-800-621-2844, and here's a pro tip. Just press 5. If you need the hearing-impaired TTY/TDD line, that's 1-800-826-5510. And they also have 24/7 roadside assistance at 1-800-354-2847. Moving right into Section 4, common problems and solutions. Because let's face it, things don't always go perfectly. The number one hurdle people run into is trying to cancel a third-party booking directly on Budget's website. If you booked your car through a travel agent or maybe an online service like Expedia, that agency essentially owns your file in the system. It is physically impossible for Budget.com to access and amend that reservation. If you try, you'll just be hitting your head against a wall of error messages. You absolutely must go back to the original booking entity, like opening your Expedia app or calling your travel agent, to actually process that cancellation. So the crucial point here is knowing just how strict Budget is about deviations from your contract. Early returns on prepaid contracts? Yeah, that means 0 prorated refunds. What if you change your drop-off to a location that rejects prepaid rates? Budget will cancel the booking, slap you with a $50 fee, and rebook you at the current prevailing rates. Running late? Listen to this. You get exactly a 29-minute grace period. Do not tempt fate at minute 30 because hourly charges will immediately kick in. And if you are very late, like 7 hours late without even calling them, expect a $20 per day fee added on top of everything else. Next up, Section 5, Tips for Future Bookings. Let's talk about how to manage your risk going forward. To eliminate this kind of stress entirely for your next trip, you really want to memorize this critical risk management timeline. Right on the booking date, try to opt for the pay later rate for maximum flexibility. Then, keep a close eye on that 48-hour out window. That is your hard deadline to cancel any high-demand credit card holds without getting hit with a $75 fee. Now, at 24 hours out, that's when a prepaid cancellation penalty jumps from $50 to a very painful $150. And finally, pickup time. As we mentioned, if you just no-show, it is game over for your prepaid funds. Zero refund. And that brings us to Section 6, Final Takeaways and Disclaimer. A vital part of knowing the rules is recognizing that the house can always change them. Right in Budget's rental terms and conditions, it explicitly states, Budget reserves the right to change these rental terms and conditions from time to time without any requirement by you to sign the changed rental terms and conditions. So the information we've unpacked today is completely accurate based on current policies, but corporate terms evolve. You must always verify the exact current penalties and timeframes directly with Budget because terms can and do vary by specific location, country, and even the time of year. I want to leave you with a final, provocative question. How much money and incredible stress could you save just by taking 60 seconds to know the fine print before you click book? Think about it. You now have the exact knowledge, the framework, and even the phone numbers to protect your wallet. Thank you so much for joining us on The Explainer today. We hope you feel empowered and ready for your next trip, and we'll see you on our next deep dive.